Hey everyone, once again, episode 41 of the Everyday Bowhunter podcast. Next to me is my brother Dan Zemer. I'm Mike Manley. And in tonight's episode, we are going to talk about a bunch of stuff. One, we're going to talk about PA Sunday hunting coming down the pike. We're going to talk about the land grab that was about to be done, but it looks like we might be safe. But and then we're going to draw our winners from the giveaway for our Moultrie cell camera, our Edge 2 cell camera, and our Everyday Bowhunter t-shirts. So we'll talk about more about that here later in the show. But first off, Dan, I was off with the old man this weekend up in the mountains.
You guys get to see a nice black snake, a racer.
Yeah, it was about 3.5 feet.
Yeah.
He was a nice little. I don't know how to say that. Be politically correct. It was a nice long snake. But anyway, yeah. I mean, you know what's funny is I was oblivious. I was like looking for like on the other side of the trail we were on, and I'm looking uphill for deer sign.
Dad saw him.
And he just stopped me and said, "Hey, look at this guy." And I was like, "Whoa." Yeah. And he was halfway across the trail we were on, and he almost stepped on him.
'Tis the season.
Yeah,
they're out. It's very snaky out there.
We went through a lot of terrain, and honestly, it was pretty warm out. I kept expecting to see a rattler or something, and
if you're closer to water, all the copperheads and stuff like that that you can run into. It's a kind of a variety up there. But seen my fair share of rattlesnakes up there.
Yeah. Last year, my wife and I were riding our e-bikes back one of the old logging roads, and I almost ran over a rattler. It was huge. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Yep.
Man, he was something to see.
Yeah, they get nice and thick.
He was one of those. Yeah, it was impressive. Very passive, though. Those people seem to think they're real aggressive, but they're actually pretty passive.
Like I said, in past episodes, I don't hunt a specific spot because I have like PTSD from it. Like I thought I heard crickets or something. I was like, "What the hell is that noise?" And then here I see this rattler coming down at it was like a beeline right for me, and I'm like, "I'm out of here." I was in my blind too. There was a Dan Zemer size hole right through that blind. I was out.
So I went up, and I had two cameras kind of in the same area near the top of the mountain. And getting up there with as much rain as we've had, we took machetes. Both of us had machetes, and we just hacked
your way up through
out of greenbrier and everything else. Everything else wanted to stick to you. There's a good path going up through there now.
Come back covered in boogie lice.
Yeah. Now, you know what? What was funny is there was a lot of bugs on us. It was real buggy, but we didn't come back with. Neither one of us had a tick on us, which was unusual. I totally expected to be covered in ticks. Did not have that problem.
So real quick, there's boogie lice, which are them little squares, and then there's the balls. What are they? The balls are boogie lice. And then the squares are. Oh, the guy at work just said it not that long ago. I forget what the hell they're called.
I don't know.
It's just called all boogie lice. I like saying boogie lice.
But anyway, the cameras I had up were about 200 yards apart from each other on the same elevation, basically. And one's a Moultrie Edge 2 Pro, and one's a Tacticam Reveal 3 Pro. And the Moultrie burnt through its battery completely, and I still had 34% on the Tacticam. Both would try to mirror the settings as much as possible. Right. Both using battery packs, using their lithium battery packs and not actual batteries with them. So getting a good read on
how long they last.
Yeah, so I'm really getting my review here. So this camera is going to be finalized here shortly. I think I have a pretty good set of details for people that want to buy those particular cameras, not other ones. But
that one picture of the coyote, I didn't look at camera literature, like details of which camera it was, but that was a hell of a nice coyote.
That was a Tacticam.
That was a big coyote.
He was
dark. That's mature.
Yeah, I had the camera. I actually switched the camera around because it was really facing into some thick ferns there. And our dad was like, "Man, this trail next to this is incredible. Why didn't you put it on this trail?" And I said, Well, because when I put the camera in at the time, the sign
Was up there.
yeah, it told me to put it there. So we'll see. I haven't had any deer on there yet, so I don't know if that was the best choice or not. But what's really neat about this spot is I have 2 cameras basically at the start of coming down off of a point that just kind of sits in the middle of the top of the mountain. And we went over the point, and didn't we walk right into a nice deer bed there? And it was good to be able to, say, oh, hey, look at this. Here's a bed here with our dad there.
Now you could see the incoming and outgoing action to the bed.
Yeah. And it's still just a place that still trying to figure out, if the sign continues up there, how to actually hunt that.
Which way they're traveling the majority of the time, and all that.
It's really going to be a treat. But man, we come down off there, we see the snake and blah blah blah, and we're about to finish. And he's like, "Hey, I know you have another camera up here somewhere." And I said, "I think it's up here." I said, "I'm going to try to wing it, not look at my app, and just navigate to it." And I navigated to the spot that he actually had the camera last year. He was getting all those big buck pictures on, and somebody had put in a wooden rifle blind in there.
Oh, okay.
That was cut perfectly, like a log, like Lincoln logs almost. They put the logs together. This thing was perfect, pristine, brand new.
Little Taj Mahal.
Yeah, but I was like, all the sign in there. It's like and one thing you can't do is you can't, you can not tell people about your spots, but the deer are going to tell you about their spots. And that sign, if you can read sign, everybody's going to end up going towards the same places. So to accentuate that point, I'm like, oh, this isn't where I'm at. I actually pulled my app out and said, oh, I'm up here. Ended up being about 150 yards off the dink. So we had to go back up.
You had to go back.
We had to go, and it was thick. We were hacking and slashing with those machetes, and we get there, and guess what's next to it? Just behind my tree with the camera, another one of those little blinds built.
Oh, really?
So somebody's out there said, oh, he has a camera here. This must be a good spot. I'm going to build a blind right next to it, which I thought was kind of a
dick move.
It's a dick move. Yeah.
Call it what it is.
We'll say that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But that's public land.
Public land.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of leads us into our
public land.
Public land.
Land grab.
Yeah.
Boy, am I glad that got shot down. Or pulled, whatever.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with this, Senator Mike Lee from Utah was so that big beautiful bill that Trump's been pushing got sent from the House over to the Senate,
and then they make their amendments.
Right, and there had been something in the House bill from somebody out west, and I'm not going to act like I remember the name or anything, but somebody had put it in. A House of Representatives individual had put it in the House bill, but they stripped it out over big opposition before ever even got voted on there. And so the version that went to the Senate did not have it in at all.
Thankfully.
So the guy that put it in and has just been hammering on this for a while, evidently, is Senator Mike Lee from Utah. And he wanted over 3 million acres sold originally, which was a combination of National Forest and Bureau of Land Management land.
And the way I look at that, man, it's like that's not your land to sell. Like that's our land. Like that's the citizens' land. That's our land to be able to recreate, or however you say that. You know what I mean? Like that's our public land. We only get so much of it. Like, come on, man. Like that really pissed me off that's even an idea. You know what I mean? Like it's
and I don't care. Like I don't care what side of the fence your politics are.
Right.
This should make you mad because if you give away an inch, you never get the inch back. And to give away 3 million acres to sell private,
where does it end?
What are the stipulations? I think there was 11 states that they were going to do this in, and the one state that opted out and cut it out of the legislation was two senators from Montana. They cut Montana out of it. Yeah. But then the Senate parliamentarian found some kind of legal, I'm not going to pretend to understand the legal issue with having the National Forest stuff in there. So they cut the National Forest stuff out, and Lee put back in, even after hearing tons of people complain about it, all the hunters and stuff, complained about it. He put it back in with just the Bureau of Land Management land, and it was supposed to be all Bureau of Land Management land that like bordered towns or where areas where people lived within 5 miles. And that there, I was like, seriously.
Yeah. And here's the thing. It was brought up once, right? This ain't over. They're going to keep pushing to do this. And it's bullshit. This is our land. So all I can suggest is contact your representatives and voice your opinion. This is our land to hunt. This is our land to hike. This is our land to fish. This is, as an American citizen, this is our land. We own the land. We, the people. These senators and stuff, they don't, of course, they're just like us.
It's all about money.
But it's not their land to sell.
You gotta wonder,
it's bullshit.
I read a little bit about Senator Mike Lee, and he has a big, smaller government approach to things, but he's not an outdoorsman. Yeah, he was like an Eagle Scout in high school, but that's about as far as that went.
Yeah. Which could be a little outdoorsy,
But at the same time, I mean, he's not a hunter. He's not ex-military. He doesn't have, he's not a camper or hiker or any of that stuff, So I don't think he had the emotional attachment to it
that we do.
People that spend time in the outdoors and appreciate the outdoors like hunters do. But the one thing about hunting public land that everybody knows that in the hunting industry as a whole, it's getting tougher and tougher to have more land is getting chewed up in states and stuff for development and stuff. They're doing eminent domain to build highways and everything else. So we got to do what we can to say, hey, no, not 1 acre.
Not one.
Not one.
Not 1 acre. I'm 100% agreeant with this. Like, I just know, though, in my heart of hearts that this is not over. You know what I mean?
Luckily, he got the pressure because Sean Ryan podcast had it. The hunting public was really hammering away with social media and videos.
MFJJ,
Steve Runella. Let me think. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of hunters. Joe Rogan was sharing stuff on his social media. He didn't have a podcast about it, but he was sharing the posts about it. And luckily, then Mike Lee pulled it. But he was getting hammered internally from other Republicans too. That
I feared that it was going to make it to Votorama, and they would have snuck at it. That's what I was afraid of.
I'm like, how did it get in the first place? I know they give these senators a lot of leeway, but I'm like, how the heck did it get in there in the first place? And the one thing about Dan and I is we've only ever really, outside of a few hunts here and there on our grandfather's farm,
that we no longer have access to.
Don't have access to it. We've hunted public land our whole life. In fact,
exclusively.
When people talk about public land hunting like it's some kind of specialty thing, it kind of makes us laugh because it's all we've ever done.
It's all we know.
It's all we know for our whole lives. We grew up with a cabin.
And the hills of our area, some call them mountains, we call them hills. They're because
hill country. We know it like the back of our hand, and we could spend days out there and not be lost. And because we've spent that much time out there, we are connected to that area, like through and through. It's in my blood. It's in my roots. It's who I am. Yeah.
And to have the thought that some senator out in Utah can take that away.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart that it's even in a conversation.
And the thing about it is once that happens, right, you do sell it off or whatever. And he was like saying, well, we need to do this to provide land for housing and stuff like that. I'm sure that there's plenty of private land out there that can be used for housing still.
Yeah. And that's the truth. You just got to get it rezoned,
stuff like that.
And you have a lot of farms that are not on farm preserve that and not that I want to lose farms. Don't take that out of context. We grew up with a grandfather that was a farmer.
We want to preserve farmland too. Yeah.
And our first cousin took over the farm and still raising cattle. Like I get a quarter steer from him every year. Was getting half a pig, but we kind of backed off on pork a little.
We definitely support farmers.
Yes. So don't take that out of context. But there are some that don't have people that they could pass it down to or whatever, or just want to make money so they can retire. They've worked hard, very, very hard their whole life, and they just want to end it all. But, you know, yeah, our public land is sacred to us, man, and it should be to everybody. Even if you hunt private land exclusively and don't hunt public land, you should kind of like have our back on this, please. Like I beg you, like don't let them take our land.
You know what I thought was the kind of the crappiest thing that I saw in that whole deal is there was I was listening to Aaron Warbriton there from the Hunting Public and being accused of being paid off to be public land hunters, being accused of being paid off by Democrats to support going against this. You know, say really the hunting public's whole thing is hunting public land. Why would they not be?
And if you've watched them, when was the last time they even talked about politics?
Yes.
Nobody knows what side of the fence they're on.
Yeah.
And who cares? It's an American.
It's not about politics.
This is not about politics. This is the farthest thing from it.
This is about keeping our public lands and keeping politicians out of it.
Well, yeah, politicians brought themselves into this, and they need to see their way the hell out of it.
Yes, let's keep politics out of our public lands. So I think we beat that one.
Yeah, speaking of politics, so something's on our governor's desk right now, and it's kind of exciting for us because we grew up in a very conservative state, and it's a Commonwealth. And in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Sundays are sacred to the Christians, and I'm one. They don't want Sundays disrupted. And, you know, and I respect that, but at the same time, I see the other side of it. And as you have, times have changed. Mm-hmm. Now you have all these people that the only time they have, because we're forced, money's tight, and we're forced to work all the time. And sometimes the only times that you can get out is the weekend. So now these hunters are only getting out just a Saturday, because they can't take off time during the week. So Sunday hunting has just passed, and it's on the governor's desk. All he needs to do is sign it,
and he's for
it. They can create a schedule for us.
And he's for it.
Yeah.
So we've had a couple Sundays during the season over the last couple of years that they've allowed Sunday hunting, and I truly believe, just like Dan said, I am all for it. And I think a lot. I mean, the needle has bent to the positive side on people wanting this. A lot of farmers and everything want it too, because they're dealing with crop issues and stuff from, you know, too many doe on their properties. Pennsylvania,
crop damage is a real thing.
Pennsylvania this year just upped their doe license allocation to like 1.3 million, if I'm not right on that. I think it's pretty close to that. And basically said, because they do rounds of allocations of doe tags in Pennsylvania, and said this year that it didn't matter when you did it, first round, everybody who applied would be able to get a doe tag in Pennsylvania.
In their area.
So they want doe killed, and I'm honestly surprised that they haven't gone to the model that they want you to kill a doe before you kill a buck. And try to knock that population down.
I mean, it might eventually come to that, you know, but
with Sunday hunting now, you have more of an opportunity.
It really opens things up.
Yeah, but I still think at the same time, I think we talked about this too. I think it opens it up more, not necessarily archery hunters, yes, of course, but you still, like you said, that's your travel day. You're going to end up going home from the cabin or whatever. If you can hunt local out of your house and just go down the road a mile and hop in the woods, that's great. You'll be able to hunt a lot more. But rifle hunters in PA, that they have a Saturday opener, are now going to be able to hunt Sunday. That's going to really mess up their partying.
Okay, so my travel day thing is for selfish reasons. So I'm looking at it like that's a day that we travel back and forth to camp, right? So I'm looking at it like, good, nobody else can be in the woods. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to worry about somebody else killing deer while I'm out driving back and forth to camp to home. Nobody's in the woods.
Now, we have like, I'll use this past. Well, really, I didn't hunt the Sunday hunting day for archery 2 years ago, but this past season I did in the morning only. I did a morning hunt
because you got to drive home and eat.
I do have to drive home, but I didn't see hardly any hunters out for it. So, you know, it might mean that sometimes still, you know, people are going to go to church on Sunday. People are doing things with their family on Sunday. Hey,
so they might have been out in the evening versus the morning.
Or they could have been
because of that.
They could have been,
church thing.
Yeah. So I'm all for it. I hope PA definitely passes.
Yeah. And, our buddy Jevin kind of brought up, a real thing is like, so when they gave us a Sunday, they took a Saturday away from us at the end of the season. So the season ended up ending on a Friday instead of that Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So we lost a weekend of hunting technically because we drive up and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I hope that they don't go screwing with the schedule too much. And I hope they don't take us out of that rut window. Like I don't want to start earlier. I'd rather start a week later.
If they want the deer killed, that would be stupid, I think, because that's where most of the deer get killed.
Yeah.
In that time frame.
It'll be interesting to see what the statistics are once it's signed off and they create a schedule and we start doing it. After 5 years, what the increase in kills would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. What statistically
it will be interesting because just because you get an extra day you can burn out areas a lot faster.
Yeah.
You say you don't want to hunt the same spot over and over again and burn it out. Hunting pressure is a real thing, and deer react to it very well.
Yeah, because there's old timers like, that's good. Sunday, it lets the woods settle down for a day. And it's real, but
the more you pressure it, is that going to push deer in a different way? And
hunting public land, that changes everything. Yeah.
So you never know what's going to happen with that. So,
I'm liking it because it'll really benefit. Like when we take vacation, you take 4 days of vacation and you're getting 6 days of hunting because you can hunt Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
so it'll be good. So you do have if you do take a
Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday
long weekend, you can get a hell of a lot more hunting out.
Yes, absolutely.
Which would be fantastic.
Yep.
Instead of only taking your whole weekend and only getting to hunt a morning, evening, or whatever.
Yep.
That kind of sucks. But so my shoulder is getting better and better.
Good.
Slowly but surely, I've been going to rehab for it, and I think for the first time in my life, I don't think I've ever said this. Rehab is helping me. Right? They've been great for
like I'm short circuiting.
Physical therapy has been helping me a lot. It's been really helping, and that's really good. And so kind of funny. I think I said this in the last time. The one girl who's a physical therapist used to be a semi-pro archer, right, for civilian archery, and taught me a better way to shoot my bow and to draw. Yes, I should say to draw. And it is just like, I'm like, man, I feel stupid for ever drawing a different way.
Yeah.
It's not drastically different, but it's different enough because I'm locking my shoulder back and I'm not pulling with my shoulder. I'm pulling with my back. I'm keeping my shoulder locked as I draw. And it's just a huge,
with my shoulder muscle here, teach me, sensei.
I will. After this, I'll show you a little bit. But it's really helped a lot, and I'm able to shoot my bow, and I'm confident that I'll be able to hunt with my bow this season, which I was really
stressing out about.
Really scared about. Yeah, I was really stressing about it.
Well, it should teach you a little bit. Like, don't shoot 150 times. Keep it to maybe 50 times.
So sometimes you really like shooting your bow. So I put my Excel landslide sight on the bow.
Mounted it.
I went through the leveling. Then I found that I was, because the way you set up your slider for your distance, saw that I was off and had to recalibrate it and re-put my screws in and then redo my leveling again. So I ended up, by the time I was done messing with it, I had re-leveled that sight 3 times.
That could be frustrating.
But the one thing I'm really, really good at now is leveling my bow sight on the first, second, and third axis.
You're like well on your way to being a shop pro.
Yeah. Now that I have all the stuff.
Yeah.
But it's been fun doing a lot of this stuff this year and having the time to do it.
To tinker.
Yeah. Kind of tinkering around with that stuff.
Getting to know you, intimately getting to know your equipment. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Now it's that time when stuff's kicking in. I just got climbing sticks from Latitude Outdoors. They're carbon, lightweight climbing sticks. So it should be interesting to test those out. I just got from Badlands. I got their entire Rise Pro collection, the entire Rise Pro collection to include the Rise backpack, and that is a nice backpack.
When he said that he was in contact with Badlands, I was like, "Oh man, get your hands on their backpacks! They make awesome backpacks." And they sent him one. And when we came down here to shoot this episode, it was one of the first things he showed me. That's a damn nice pack.
It is a great tree stand pack.
Yes.
I don't know. Haven't tested it with my saddle hunting stuff yet. Don't know if it's a great saddle hunting pack, but I can tell you right now, just from how it's laid out, it is a great tree stand pack because you can really just open it up and have it really accessible.
That's it right there. You don't want to be fighting digging while you're trying to be quiet. If you can have it set up where everything's accessible,
it's got magnets. It's quiet. It's a nice setup. I can't wait.
I've only heard good things about Badlands when it comes to their packs.
Yep. And for those who have asked me this over and over again, some people have asked me multiple times. I have now got an agreement with Code of Silence. So they're going to send me stuff to test. I don't know what that stuff is yet because they have new stuff coming out. So they said in August here, they're going to send me some of their new stuff to test this season. And, so they are really big on, a lot of their stuff is more geared towards later season. I think, geared for warmth. So
yeah, when you had said it, I looked them up and I was like, make a whole lot of early season stuff. Yeah.
As I said before, I have the QU stuff over here I got to test. And I've got rolling along.
Just a lot of stuff coming in the pipeline here.
And then I didn't say, I had talked with Ozio.
Oh, yeah.
Ozio is sending me their new Wrap X camo, and they're sending me their, oh my goodness, I can't think of what those pants are called. They have knee protection in them and in the butt, kind of like your Huntworth pants do. They have a pair of pants like that. I think I'm going to get the midweight top and then the midweight puffy.
I'm looking forward to seeing
all in that Wrap X camo.
I'm looking forward to seeing the new camo pattern in person. Like in pictures, that's one thing. Till you actually see it in person, that's cool. Yeah, I love the Raptor camo, so this is gonna be neat.
Yeah, this camo is a little bit lighter, and they say it's more versatile. But I'm a big fan of the Raptor camo in a tree. Especially ever since I lost my backpack out in the woods the one time
because you couldn't see it.
Because I laid my Ozio jacket over it as I went and followed some sign, and when I came back for it, I couldn't find it until I practically stumbled on it because of the camo.
Yeah.
So it's like if I have a hard time seeing it, I'm sure a deer might have a hard time seeing it. So
there's that.
You would hope. But anyway. And then, of course, the last company that I have two more. I can't think of it. What is it? Tidewee contacted me again, and they're sending me a blind. They're sending me their rain suit.
Yeah. Ooh.
So looking forward to that. And one other thing I can't think of what it is, but I'll be doing reviews on those as well. So
perfect.
Got quite a few items, reviews in the pipeline. And then, of course, as we get towards the season here, it always seems to start flooding in even more. So anyway, looking forward to doing all that. But Dan, are you ready to?
I am. This is the only reason I showed up to this.
So for the last few months here, we've run our Moultrie Edge 2 giveaway, right? Of course, the second and third place winners get the Everyday Bowhunter t-shirt, which I now have the shop up on the website. If you go to archeryhunting.com and you see up in the menu, it says merch. You can get.
I love the material.
These, I got a great provider now. I did test orders. And the shirts came to me in 3 days. So I was really, really impressed with that.
Yeah, they're nice. I love that material. Yeah. It's like stretchy.
Yes. Yeah. Really nice shirts. So you guys whoever wins this, now I have both women and men. I say, guys, I have both women and men that enter this contest, this giveaway en masse. And now on my computer here, I'm going to be able to draw the winners, click a button here, use Gleam.io, which is a giveaway software for this.
So it randoms it.
It does it random. And
just so you know, I did not enter.
So I had guys from where I used to work saying, "Hey, I entered that," and I'm like, "Well, it doesn't matter. It's going to be automatic." Letting the software do it. I'm not picking. Especially, just to give you a little data, we had basically 700 entrants to it, over 5,000 entries using all the different entry methods. So thank you for your support.
Yes, that's awesome. That's a great turnout.
It really, really, helps. And looking forward to, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. We'll talk about the next giveaway. So let's draw.
So do you want to do third place to first place?
Well, this is going to do them all at once, I think.
Okay.
So let me see
what happens.
I've never clicked this before in the software, so let's see what happens. Winners to draw. All 3 prizes.
And
drawing. All right.
So there's first place, second place, and third place right there.
Okay. Our first place winner is.
You want to go third place and lead up to it?
We can do that.
Like for dramatic,
Yep. So third place winner is Stephen Shackelford from Marietta, Georgia.
Awesome.
And you won a Everyday Bowhunter t-shirt.
All right. Congratulations, Stephen.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
And I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this so I don't miss it. So the second place winner, also an Everyday Bowhunter t-shirt, is Carlene Bennett Winter from Seymour, Connecticut.
Awesome. It's all East Coast going on here so far.
Crazy, yeah. And we go a little bit more Midwest on this next one.
Okay.
And the first place winner of the Moultrie Edge 2 camera, cell camera, is Jeff Kaiser.
Awesome.
Concord, Michigan.
Awesome.
Congratulations, Jeff, Carlene, and Steven. I got your email sitting here in front of me, and I will be emailing you when we get done the episode here and letting you know, in case, of course, this episode is going to come out probably tomorrow. This is July 1st right now. We're pulling this.
Yep.
And we'll get it out there and notify you by email. We're going to send an email out to everybody who entered. And I'm also going to be sending out a coupon code from Moultrie. So if you're still interested in one of these cameras, that you can get
a discount
on it.
Great. Yeah.
So anyway, I appreciate everybody entering.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
We very, very much appreciate it. And we wouldn't do stuff like this if we didn't appreciate. And this is like, to me, this is like Christmas morning. I'm freaking pumped about this. This is awesome.
This is awesome. I'm really happy that the software worked too.
Yeah. We've been sitting here like,
you're like,
all right, you're gonna have to edit this.
Yeah. Really glad this software worked. But great. Did a awesome job with the giveaway. Now the next giveaway, the actual prizes have not been completely finalized yet.
Yeah.
So probably by the end of next week, end of the second week of July, and then we'll start the next giveaway that will be giving out the prizes basically the 1st of October.
1st of October.
Yep. And we're talking, I can tell you that one of the prizes will be a Sitka Stratus jacket.
Freaking awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yep. So there you go, man. I'm
freaking pumped.
That's
so
there.
Cool.
We started doing the giveaway. Oh, and another one of the items that'll be given away is a Tacticam trail camera. Cell camera. Just one of the ones I was just talking about at the beginning of the show.
Okay.
Right.
So when he emails you, people like Carlene and Steven, you have to give a size that you want so he knows what size to ship to you.
Yep. I'll be getting your information and that one, like I said, the one good thing about the t-shirt maker provider for this now is that they ship fast. I did test orders, 3 days. I got the stuff.
That's great.
So, so that there was impressive. And the thing that I meant to have down here at the table for the podcast today and left upstairs is I have new Everyday Bowhunter coffee cups, and the new design on that came out fantastic as well. In fact, the coffee cup is the logo there, and then what we have on the back, that's on the cup too. It's a black coffee cup. So it's really, really neat.
Do I get one for being on the show?
You might be able to get one. maybe.
You already gave me a free T-shirt.
I don't.
I'm like Carlene and Steven. I get a free T-shirt too.
Coffee cup's going deep in the well. I don't know.
Man, we really appreciate everybody. This is freaking awesome. I'm so glad that we get to do stuff like this and give back. It's the only way we can really give back, to show thanks and stuff like that.
I hope you're getting this trail camera early enough that you can get it out in the woods and get something out of it, Jeff. So you're going to have to, everybody, once you get the stuff that we send you, you're going to have to send me some pictures back
with it
so we can post it on social media and stuff too. Knowing that you got it, and that and thank you once again, everybody who participated in the giveaway.
Yep.
Really appreciate it. And with that number of people, everybody had a pretty good chance. We talk about chances.
Yeah.
Your chances are pretty good with that.
And you're doing 3 giveaways within that. That's
so
great.
That's why I want to have more items to give away for the next giveaway, so that more people can get something, win. I don't want to have just one first place winner. A lot of these contests, you see different hunting companies do. They'll have this huge package of stuff, and one person will win that huge package of stuff. Well, that's great, but I'd like to give away enough stuff that we give a couple people can win, and not just one person.
Yeah.
That's why I added the T-shirt.
Who wants to watch our podcast for 3 months for one winner?
I wouldn't want to do that.
I'm only joking.
Screw that podcast. I'm not doing that.
Oh man! Again, I know we keep saying it. It's like beating a dead horse. We truly are grateful.
Yep. So let me see. I think that's it on that. At least that's all set and locked in. I don't have to worry about losing it now. I also did a screen share, so screen safe though. I got all the winners. All you guys are locked in. So let me know. Go down the comments of the podcast. Let me know. Did you enter the giveaway? Did you have any issues with it? Did the software mess up? Anything break along the way?
You got to make it easier for the next time.
Something not work. Let me know, because I got about basically a little less than 2 weeks here till we start the next one for the October 1st giveaway. And if anything was wrong with this one, let me know now, and I can make sure we
clean that up.
Yeah. So go ahead and post it in the comments on YouTube or even on Spotify. So what do you got, Dan?
That's it. I'm just stoked.
All right. Well, anyway, hey, there's episode 41 in the books. We got another 2 weeks, and we'll be ramping up for our next podcast, and we'll be diving into what we're doing here to prepare for the early season.
Yeah, because it's creeping up on us. Time's a ticking, buddy.
It's coming.
Yep.
So once again, I'm Mike. This is Dan, and we'll see you next time. Hey, this is Mike once again. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you want even more content from the Everyday Bowhunter, I invite you to go over to everydaybowhunter.com or archeryhunting.com. It's the same website for the Everyday Bowhunter. In addition, if you haven't subscribed, go to our YouTube channel. We have a lot more than the podcast there. Have more video coming every day, a lot more content. In addition, if you go over on your podcast channels, or you're already there, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, please give us a 5-star review. Give us a follow. We really appreciate it. In addition, if you see an Everyday Bowhunter shirt like this, go ahead, go to the website, go to YouTube, click on it, buy one of our shirts. Every little bit helps. We're not sponsored by anybody. In addition, in our descriptions and our show notes, we highlight products that we use and buy that we love. Now, every time you click on one of those links, we get a small commission. It really helps us out. Like I said, we're not sponsored by anyone. You're our sponsor. So with your support, we can make this channel even better. I appreciate it. And until then, I will see you next time.